Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are on this beautiful planet. This is Rebecca Jernigan coming to you live from the heart of America to around the globe via the World Wide Web. We are journeying into the realms of the known and the unknown. You're listening and watching Journeys with Rebecca from Project Camelot TV Network. Hello, everyone. Today we have a really fabulous guest. I just love this man. His name is Robert Young, Magic and Miracles and Advancement Center. I'm going to share some published lines from Robert's website because this is just puts it into so much context as to who this man is and what he's going to be doing for us today. It's well known in every person's life that the addition of a little magic and the occasional miracle is all that is needed to produce exactly what each person expects out of life. Our focus on magic and miracles can be applied to every walk in life. Even the most technical needs a little bit of magic to appeal to society or to support the environment. The miracles of the universe are now our playground, and the competition with science, its teachings, no longer applies. The elegance of science can now be restored by the inclusion of magic and miracles as part of its expectation. Every design and every structure will present magic to the world, and every presentation will encourage miracles from every corner of the universe. It's so beautiful. Robert's going to talk about Simeon as well here today and the work they do together, as well as the work that Robert does and everything that he has for humanity to offer us. And at this point, I want to welcome Robert to the show. Hello, Robert.
Hi, Rebecca. How are you?
I'm wonderful. It is so great to have you here. It is just so awesome to have you here.
It's a beautiful day here in Santa Barbara, and yeah, we've got one of them special days again, just for this occasion.
You got to love it. Our day started out very foggy, and now we have beautiful sunshine. So it must have something to do with shifting of the energies, and I like it. I like it. You know, I'm going to let you get started here, but before I do, I want to share with people is that I had a marvelous opportunity a few years back to meet you, and you were on my show several times, and the information that you shared with the audience then and the information that you still are sharing and you will continue to share with everyone is so important because it's simple and it's beautiful and it's appropriate for the times that we live in, and it's about people making different choices based on information and how they resonate with the information that they come across. And with you, your energy when you're present in the moments that you're presenting the information is it is very magical, and you know that, and you have the ability to influence people in a very positive way, so that after they're done listening to you and viewing you at the same time, or just listening to you, if that's the case, they walk away and they're feeling just a little bit better. They're a little calmer. They're more serene, and certainly more hopeful for their own lives and the lives of the people around them. So it's a beautiful thing, and I'm really, really honored to have you here today. So with that being said, obviously there's a lot of material for us to cover today. I briefly shared with people some of the things that you're doing based off the information that's published on your website. You have several websites, and I know you'll be talking about those later today. I will be reminding you to talk about them if you don't. And then also about Simeon and who Simeon is, for those that have not had the ability to listen to you before, and of course the continued work that you do, so that you can people, if they want to continue to explore it, can join you on your seminars, on your online events that take place. So with that being said, Robert, I'm going to kind of turn it over to you and have you talk first about the magic and miracles and Simeon and wherever you feel free to be taken.
Thanks, Rebecca. I think the greatest thing in life is to be able to speak openly about all the things that are beyond the focus of everyday life. So the first thing I do when I start to talk to people each week is I say, welcome to the world of magic and miracles. And because of that, I can then access those special feelings that everyone has about magic and miracles. For a long time, it was almost taboo to talk in the open about what was happening inside each person. But when I started talking about the fact that a young child knows exactly what to do when you give them a magic wand or a pair of fairy wings, it doesn't matter what age. The tiniest of child knows exactly what to do. And they run around sprinkling stardust and sparkles and healing people, making them fly, doing all the things that we know is part of our heritage. So the opportunity to move forward and tap into that very area that's been held in abeyance for many thousands of years is a real honour. The first thing I usually talk about is the elegance of each being and how they stand alone, but they all stand together. And in that world of magic and miracles, you never run into one another. You exist and you interact and you enhance everybody else's life without actually expending any energy. It's one of those things that they refer to in the chemical industry as, I can't think of the word,
Catalyst.
as a catalyst, yeah. And really, a catalyst is a thing that arranges and supports a reaction, but doesn't deplete itself in any way. So its presence allows all these things to happen, but it doesn't take from the person at all. So as we explore all this, people start to feel the energy flows around them from one another, instead of when you're down at the lower levels, all you feel is running into one another and you feel competition. So I introduced a very unique thing many years ago to assist people to see how they can exist in a different place. And I just called it the elevated platform of living. So you can imagine if you elevate your platform of living far enough so that you can look down on everything around you, you're actually not affected. And everybody can do it. Instantly, they advance by lifting that platform of living, at least while I'm speaking. But eventually, it becomes part of their life. And they know that they don't have to fix anything because they have the ability to elevate the base level of their living to where all they feel is magic and miracles. It's within everybody's capability to play with magic with a little bit of mischief, to throw sparkles around, watch it affect people, to connect with people on the other side of the road and watch them smile, even through the traffic. Ladies are familiar with this, turning heads when they're really just walking along the street, showing their brilliance. And so everybody is totally familiar with little snippets of what I talk about. But right now, I've pushed forward a little further and taken everybody past the world where limits determine their life, into that place where you can actually daydream with your eyes open and experience all the beautiful things that you used to when you were probably 10-year-old at school, when you wanted to just go to the beach or go out with a boy or one of those things, and the teacher would come up and bash the desk and frighten hell out of you and tell you to stop daydreaming.
Yeah.
That now is one of the greatest functions given to us in the world. That's where we test everything. That's where there are no repercussions. And you can be instantly anywhere, at any time, for any length of time, and still have your eyes open and function normally in the world. But what that does is it holds your spirit. It entertains it. It keeps it alive. And it holds no connection to the turmoil of the world around you. So the more I encourage people to use that, the better they can feel in an instant. So I make sure that I don't repeat anything too much. I attempt to present something new every week and to just open initially the possibility without explanation. Because each person has their own record of what they did before they came here, of where they stored all the gifts that they know they're going to bring to the world. And they know that they can demonstrate them if they're allowed to use all the dimensions that are not visible to everyone, but can be as soon as somebody looks at you. So as you walk around with your eyes sparkling and a big smile on your face, everyone says either, "What's wrong with you?" or, "Boy, the movie you're watching is pretty good." And that's the last one that really makes the difference. If you can make sure that you're watching the perfection that comes to you in every moment, it's continually changing. And it takes no effort. And it can be changed by a butterfly flying past, or a little noise, or a fleeting memory. Or you can go to the beach and find that you're at that same beautiful beach that always appears to you. And you never even wonder whether it's real or not, because you know it's always there. And what I propose to everyone is, really, it's always there, but the one that we inhabit here on Earth is not always there. So the more realistic part of our being is actually in other realms. One of the easiest explanations, particularly when you talk about magic and miracles, is to talk about the Tinkerbell sparkles.
I like
Tinkerbell. Talk
Tinkerbell.
about the Tinkerbell sparkles that are around everyone.
I love her.
So that ability to feel means that it's actually real. And nobody really thought too much about the structure of their being until I said, you know, you're built like Tinkerbell. And each sparkle is the entrance into another dimension. And in that dimension, the picture of yourself, which is so much more than here, is actually projecting into this place to produce a hologram that's walking around. And so the character of anything that you want to check out, you can just touch one of them sparkles and you'll feel the energy straight away. Everything lights up. And you know consciously there's something more to this than I thought. So as the structure of our being is quite different to what it's being taught. You know, you can talk about chakras and you can prove lots of things, but you have to build them first.
Agreed.
Talk about Tinkerbell sparkles, bing, they're there straight away. You want to do something with those sparkles? you've got it immediately. You want a little bit of mischief, you can just flick a few sparkles across the crowd and watch them turn around. It's all a reality that exists if you talk to one another and allow it to be in our world. So the more we talk about the stuff, I call it stuff because it's easy to explain, the stuff that nobody would like to talk about, or in society, there's a hidden barrier. But the more we talk about it, the more we find we can step through that barrier and then turn around and look and find out there's no barrier there. It's fictitious. And I doubt if you'll find one person when you take them to one side who will agree that you shouldn't talk about it. So each individual has the correct picture, but there's this social force, if you like, that's been developed over many thousands of years that says that's not acceptable in our society. But everyone in the society is thrilled if you talk about it.
It's so true. It is. It's extremely true. You're absolutely right.
So that's part of the driving factor that sort of led me to say to everybody, you know, the most important thing in this world is you. And the only person who's living a life is you. And so to enjoy your own presence, you have to entertain your own spirit. If you don't entertain your own spirit, how are you going to glow with that magnificent glow that changes everyone's life? And so as I start to talk, I give people the opportunity to feel the energies and to feel that there is much more. Because in these so-called hidden dimensions and worlds, there's a factor that interfaces with us and you can feel it. And you know, even if there's somebody that shouldn't be in the room, you know immediately. Because these signals come back to us and they feed into the part of our being that doesn't go through our brain. It's an immediate response. It's a knowing. Even if you look at some of these movies that they've got on the television now, or on Facebook or whatever, and you'll see children falling, and all of a sudden a friend or a parent, without looking, will just reach out and grab the child and keep it safe without even knowing what they've done. Because that's the part of us that interfaces with one another and works by itself. So I wrote a little book called Your Personal Supercomputer. And it runs through a lot of little exercises or little stories, really, to indicate how very, very powerful this personal supercomputer is, and the fact that it runs automatically, providing you allow it to be there. And little children use it all the time. You know, they run into brick walls, and if you're not looking, they just get up and keep playing. And they don't even hurt themselves. There's been movies taken of that happening, and then when they've slowed them right down, they can see the child actually damages themselves. But before they've actually pulled back from the wall, it's healed. And that's the power of our own personal supercomputer. Many, many other things. So you've probably experienced a lot of these things yourself, Rebecca.
You know, I want to address the I wanted to address you were talking about, let's see, I want to really remember exactly what you said, about the hologram, about us being a hologram, and that we're just projecting ourselves. I had a near-death experience, a very conscious near-death experience. And what happened was when I left my body, I turned around and I looked at myself laying there, right? And I thought, and here's the conscious thought I had at the moment. I was like, so that's what she looks like. And I remember that thought going, well, I'm thinking of her as not being me, but yet she is me. And there was this whole myriad within this like microseconds of information that passed through my conscious awareness about this person that was laying on the bed. That's what she looks like. And that was a huge like thing for me, right? I was like, I have to look into that. Why would that happen like that? And it's really because we do exist on so many different levels. We really do. We exist on so many different levels. And there is magic every single day. And the work that you have always done, Robert, is to explain in very succinct and eloquent words the miracles and the magic that go on in our lives every day. Just like when you were talking about the little movie about the child hitting the wall and that there was an injury, but before they even almost pulled back, it was healed because they didn't accept the injury or whatever their internal computer was telling them. I've never seen one of those. I would love to view that because I've had children of my own. I have grandchildren, and I have watched them, my children and grandchildren, do stuff like that. And I think, now I wonder if I ever did that, ran into a wall or fall over something really terrible and get hurt. Just you get up and just walk away, and you don't ever feel anything. There's not a bruise left on you, nothing. And it would really fascinate me, because I will tell you, is even today, I will hit myself. You get clumsy and you walk through a door and you knock your elbow or you hit your shins or whatever, and it will be a few hours later, I look down and go, I should have a really big bruise there where I hit myself or not, and I still don't always bruise, and I still don't always get cut or injured in any way. So and I'm here to say that, but even as you get older, sometimes that computer doesn't go away. It still acts sometimes. We haven't let this reality totally burn us out. So I think these are little things that people, if they really stop to look at it, Robert, that they would probably go, oh, yeah, really. We have that experience, and I want to talk about Tinkerbell. She's my favorite. She's just my favorite because her little sparkles are everywhere, right? And people think that this is and it is lighthearted. It's supposed to be lighthearted, but it is reality. It is another reality. I've always known that, and I know that there's a lot of people that are walking into this, and they really are realizing that there's more to their life than what they thought there was, what they were taught and told, no matter what society's rules have said, going, wait a minute, that doesn't fit for me. But the idea behind Tinkerbell and her little sparkles, right? You can take these little sparkles, and I have done that. I've done it in different ways, and I have taught that to some of my people when in different classes here. You want to see how energy works? You want to see how you really do affect the world and how your being affects the world? Do this. Just try this. Make somebody's day better. Go here and try this and try that. Just make them feel better. And it's using your understanding, and the way that you express it is the Tinkerbell sparkle. Really does work. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So, well, let's see. We're going to take a break in about 5 minutes here. We're going to just a little short break, just so I want to remind myself and everyone else. And it really is going to be a short break. It's like 10 or 15 seconds long. It's just a break in the program. So for the next few minutes, what would you like to present to the people? You want to finish talking a little bit more about your magic and miracles? Would you like to move into the simian thing? What would you like to do?
I think the main thing is to talk about advancement,
Okay.
because that's what's current with everybody all their life. The funniest thing is that the drive within us is for advancement, no matter what we're looking at. That sense of a possible advancement, the simplest way possible, will turn our engine on straight away. And if we can actually take that on as a reality, every chance we get, we're looking for advancement. And most times it exists in the funniest hiding places that you would ever think. But the best one, and the one that we've really forgotten about, is it exists all the time in an open conversation. One that doesn't have a subject. You're just having a chat. You're kicking things backwards and forwards. You're talking about ridiculous things. The energy that flows between you is actually an energy of advancement. And it lifts you to the point where you can say, wow, that was a good conversation. But if someone says, what do you talk about? You say, I don't know. And that's one of the hiding places for advancement. And if we can all see that, it's so easy. And it's free.
Mm. And it's at our disposal.
Oh, yeah.
For sure. I like that. I like that idea. That little scenario you just presented. I can tell you, I've had a few conversations like that. You walk away feeling very buoyant, very refreshed, and you're just excited about life again. And what did you talk about? Well, I don't know, but it was just really great. And seriously, I have said those things. I don't know, but it was I can't really remember specifics, but it was good. It was a great conversation. It's a bonding of some sort, Absolutely. Brian, I think maybe this might be a good place for us to take a little short break if you want. And then when we get back, then we can pick back up the rest of the advancement. And some people call it evolution. Robert, we can talk a little bit about that. So if you guys will stay with us, we will be back in just a few moments.